Welcome to Season 2 of Red Sox Digest, the only show where pain, sarcasm, and false hope collide nightly, like a Masataka Yoshida ground out to second. We break down every loss, every meltdown, and the occasional win, with sarcasm, facts, and no front office spin. Subscribe today at RedSoxDigest.com, or keep wondering how a wildcard team spent an entire offseason avoiding power hitters. And now, here's the crew at Red Sox Digest.
Good evening, sports fans, and welcome to another edition of Red Sox Digest. I am your host tonight, Jim Dalfino, and I want to congratulate the Boston Red Sox for doing the impossible. They went down to Tampa Bay, played 3 games in that miserable warehouse with catwalks, fake grass, and 11 actual fans, and somehow made the Rays look like the 1927 Yankees. That takes talent, not baseball talent, but pure talent. At this point, I'm not even mad. I'm past mad. Mad was 2 months ago. I'm now in that calm, dangerous phase where I'm staring straight ahead like a man who just found out his contractor installed the toilet in the kitchen. The Red Sox got swept by the Rays. Swept 3 games, June 8, June 9, and today, June 10. Final scores 3-1, 4-3, and 7-5. That's not a series, folks. That's 3 separate subpoenas from the Department of Baseball Negligence. Boston lost all 3 games in Tampa and fell to 27-39 on the season. The sweep was completed today with a 7-5 loss, despite the usual late fake comeback routine that only exists to make us hate ourselves for still watching. Joining me tonight is Nick Face, who is so disgusted right now. How disgusted is he? He's probably arguing with a Rays fan who doesn't exist. Nick hates losing, and honestly, this team has become a full-time emotional assault on his nervous system. He doesn't watch games anymore. He prosecutes them. Also joining us tonight is John Martinello, who keeps showing up like a decent man trapped in an indecent baseball economy. John looks at this team the way a parent looks at a report card with 6 absences, 2 suspensions, and a note that says, eats glue during math. Let's get into it. The Rays beat the Red Sox 3-1 on Monday, 4-3 on Tuesday, and today 7-5. That is a sweep. Not a tough series. Not they battled. Not a few things didn't bounce their way. No, they got swept by a division rival that builds winning teams out of spare relievers, dental floss, and a coupon book from 2014. Monday night, Boston scored 1 run. 1. The offense showed up like it was doing community service. You could have replaced half the lineup with traffic cones, and at least the cones would have had better plate discipline. Tuesday was the classic Red Sox special. Fall behind, pretend to rally, strand hope on the bases, lose by 1, and then have someone tell us afterward that they, quote, like the fight. I don't want fight. I want wins. Fight is what bad teams talk about when the standings are starting to look like a medical chart. And then today, Drew Rasmussen struck out a career 13-high Red Sox hitters over 7 shutout innings. 13. That's not pitching dominance. That's adult supervision. Rasmussen basically walked onto the mound, looked at the Red Sox lineup, and said, "Oh, you poor things." He allowed 2 hits, while Boston spent 7 innings swinging like they were trying to kill a mosquito in a dark garage. Nick Fortes went 4 for 4 for Tampa Bay today. Repeat that. Nick Fortes, not Babe Ruth, not Barry Bonds, Nick Fortes. The Rays had guys up and down the lineup putting the ball in play, taking good at-bats, moving runners, and doing all those boring professional baseball things that apparently require a secret Tampa Bay password Boston has never been given. And of course, because this team is psychologically abusive, the Red Sox made it close late. Caleb Durbin homered twice. Let me repeat that. Caleb Durbin homered twice. Ceddanne Rafaela hit a 3-run homer. Suddenly it's 7-5, and we're all supposed to lean forward like idiots and go, maybe? No, stop it. That's how they get you. That's the cheese in the trap. The team doesn't complete comebacks. They cosplay as competitive just long enough to ruin your night with precision. This Rays series was a clinic in the difference between a real baseball operation and whatever the hell the Boston Red Sox are doing right now. Tampa Bay looks organized. Boston looks like 4 interns trying to land a plane. The Rays beat you with execution. The Red Sox countered with confusion. The Rays got timely hits. Red Sox got vibes and strikeouts. The Rays looked like a first-place team. The Red Sox looked like they were accidentally booked for the wrong league. So tonight, boys, I'm not asking, can this team turn it around? I'm not someone more serious. I'm asking something more serious right now. How many more fake comebacks are we supposed to applaud before we admit this offense is a broken vending machine? How does Tampa keep humiliating Boston with a payroll that looks like it's a landscaping invoice? And there is a point where we start calling these mistakes and start calling them out as organizational personality traits. The Red Sox went to Tampa, got swept, fell to 27-39, and once again reminded everybody that rock bottom apparently has a basement apartment. I've said enough. It's time now for the word of the day.
And now it's time for Nick Face's Word of the Day!
We'll start with the singular, poop, and then we'll go to the direct quote. This quote came about 2 months ago when we thought we hit rock bottom. The quote is this: it's like shitting your pants and changing your shirt. That was from April 26th. April 26th, after the coaches, were fired, and Breslow thought that was just the greatest thing on earth, just to clean house and get rid of that. That quote happened to be a quote by Josh Beckett, of all people. I don't know if you guys knew that. Josh Beckett was behind the quote towards that. That was to Rob Bradford. That was a text that he had shared. And the reason I bring that up is because I think we're past that point right now. I think we're on multiple poops right now. And basically when you get to that, you get through that constipation stage and, you get some nice backup, and God knows what happens after that. You may need an exam. I'm not going that far. But anyways, I truly cannot watch this team right now. It's that bad. I can't watch it. I can't, because it's that bad. We have truly hit the worst part of Red Sox baseball in my lifetime. There's nothing to be excited about. There's nothing to watch. There's no enjoyment. There's nothing. I am so curious, guys, what the ratings were for today's game at 1 o'clock this afternoon. I'm not going to go on my rant again about the afternoon stupid weekday Wednesday games at 1 o'clock. I'm not going to do that. You've already heard my take. You already know how I feel on that. I think it's a travesty that they do that. But I am really curious to see which imbecile out on planet Earth actually sat down today and watched that game from the first pitch to the last. You did?
No, I'm just teasing.
Okay. I was going to say goodbye. It doesn't just stem from, obviously, the team. I think the players are a disgrace. Many of them shouldn't even be in the big leagues. But you got to look at your coaching staff, and I know many of it is all minor league guys. I don't know how much blame you want to put onto that, but they are certainly not ready to handle Major League Baseball. Okay, that's one. And then two, Breslow is still doing whatever nonsense he's doing with his nerds. And they still are telling us fans it's going to be okay. They are still thinking this is a playoff team. They still feel like Garrett Crochet will be back, that Roman Anthony will be back, and all will be good in this world again. Well, you're going to hear it from me first. Wrong. Fool me once, shame on me. Fool me twice, and many times after that, not buying it. Right now, I am sitting in my chair, eagerly awaiting. If you see me look back and forth and then look at my phone and stuff like that, I am eagerly awaiting some breaking news to head into Red Sox land that may be a sign of hope. I'm not going to say anything about that just yet because I want to make sure that, number one, this does go down. Whether it's tonight or tomorrow will be determined based upon whatever John Henry wants to put the hammer down, because this is stemming from John Henry. This is not a Sam Kennedy thing. This is John Henry to make a decision about what he wants to do and stop effing around and screwing his fan base over. This is a big time deal here that he needs to make a big decision on what he wants to do with his organization, because right now it's in turmoil.
Nick, this source that you have, is he very credible? I mean, is it something
he's within the organization, so they know what's going on. The problem that we have right now is that the players and their families were on the road trip to the Yankees and to the Rays. So they're dealing with families as of right now. And I'm leaning to believe that they want to get back to Fenway to make any drastic decisions after the families and everything are back and everything is ordered there. I don't think they still got with the kids and everything else on this road trip right now. So that's kind of what the wait and see. That's what the wait and see phase is here. Now, who knows? Maybe because this was such an early game, they got back. They're trying to get settled. They're trying to figure out what direction they're going to head, and things will start to happen. But that report that came out, too, on Monday regarding that Breslow is safe and everything like that, I hope all of you guys know that was just a smokescreen. They did the same thing with Chaim Bloom. The same thing. Oh, yeah, we believe in him. They're just spewing hot air. Nothing they say out of their mouths is truthful. Nothing. So if you bought that bunch of BS, I'm sorry, but it's a lie. They lie and lie and lie. That nose for Pinocchio could go from my desk down to the opposite end of my street right now, because every statement out of their mouths is nothing but a bunch of BS. So I want people to know that the truth is coming soon, and it's my hope and desire that happens later tonight or into tomorrow. Now, if this news does not drop tomorrow, that means that John Henry did not grow a sack, because that's what this stems from. He is so tied up with friendships that he has with ownership and other people in there that the man doesn't know what direction to go. I do know for a proven fact that right now John Henry is at his most angry phase that he has been from owning this team right now, and he is ready to make a big time move. That is an exact quote, word for word, that I was told.
Wow.
So it's time to put your big boy pants on, John Henry, and figure out what you want to do, because right now you are the laughing stock of the league, you are the laughing stock of baseball and the city of Boston. So nut up and make a decision, because fans are outraged, disgusted, and are done with your Boston Red Sox. So grow a pair and make a change.
Yeah. You know, he's got to be tired of being embarrassed, because it's just getting to be obscene now. So Nick's word of the day is sponsored by FaceFacts Anger-Activated Blood Pressure Gum. Are you watching the Red Sox strand runners swing through center, cut fastballs, and called it competing? Just pop in a piece of FaceFacts blood pressure gum, now with extra menthol and barely contained rage. Side effects include yelling at your television, correcting strangers online, and developing a personal vendetta against every hitter with a sub-205 batting average. FaceFacts blood pressure gum, for when the Red Sox offense turned your arteries into Fenway traffic. Now, we're going to go to the Martinello Minute and see what John has for us.
And now, the part they don't want said out loud. No spreadsheets or corporate spin, just the truth. raw, and impatient. This is the Martinello Minute.
So Nick, you started us out with a little bit of a rock bottom-esque quote. I've got another one. It's I think we've hit rock bottom. That's what I told them after the game. You have to sometimes hit bottom. If this isn't bottom, we'll find some new ends of the earth, I guess. That was Bobby Valentine in 2012, my least favorite human being ever outside of Josh Winkowski to put on a Red Sox uniform. But I'm quoting him because this is a team now that is on pace to lose more games than that team lost in 2012 in his 1 year here. If anybody wants to know how the series against the Rays went, for some reason, I'll tell you how it went. The Red Sox walked 3 times. Their 1 through 3 hitters today set a new record that we love to talk about on this show. The new records they break every single day. They went 0 for 9 with 9 strikeouts. The 1 through 6 hitters in this series hit 119 with 22 strikeouts. 4 of their 6 hits today came in the 8th inning during their fake comeback that they love to do. In their last 4 games, going back to the last game at Yankee Stadium, they've scored 5 runs. And then their starters over the last 4 games hold a 5.74 ERA. The bullpen holds a 4.32 ERA. The Red Sox are 12 games under 500 in June for the first time since Princess Diana was alive. So that's what we got going on. That's what we had going on in Tampa Bay.
Good God.
So these guys are on a
so
roll.
bad.
Yep. But only person I'll highlight, Caleb Durbin, who, he had
Don't
the
Will
2
Fleming
home runs.
me.
Listen. He had the 2 home runs today.
Don't Will Fleming me.
He had the 2 home runs today. In his last 15 games, I'll go back further. He's hitting .313 in his last 48 at bats for a .903 OPS, and that includes 8 extra base hits. So for all the crap that we've given him, if I'm not saying that he's a .903 OPS hitter, but if he's starting to hit like how he hit last year, which I think was a 100 WRC plus, so exactly league average. If we could start, he doesn't need to hit a 900 OPS for the rest of the year, but if he could be somewhat of a consistent hitter, I'll be much happier with his output. But one thing I want to talk about is Mike Lowell was on Rob Bradford's podcast, Baseball Isn't Boring, and he was talking about kind of what he thinks about how the Red Sox are, how everything's going right now between, just how the team's playing, ownership and whatnot. He believes, just like how David Ortiz said a couple weeks ago, that John Henry cares about the team, but he also thinks that just the Red Sox in general, FSG, the ownership group, has turned into a quote-unquote massive sports conglomerate. He said that every move that is made is decided upon as a quote-unquote cold business move, opposed to a win at all costs mentality that the Red Sox were operated as when he was a player here, which if you don't agree with that, then I don't know what the hell you've been watching for the past 8 years now. He went on to say how the Red Sox are trying to copy how the Rays operate, but the Rays have been doing this for 15 years or so now. The Red Sox have been doing it for a couple years. The Rays are really good at it. The Red Sox aren't really good at it. The common theme between both practices, neither of them have won a championship operating, by the computers or strictly relying on the computers to manufacture winning baseball games. So, what I take away with that is Mike Lowell is exactly like how we are watching this team. It's not fun to do. And now, over the past 30 minutes, we have tweets coming out that a bunch of these rival executives across the league are just laying it out on the Red Sox and how this roster's constructed, why they aren't making any moves, why they won't do anything about it. And it's just embarrassing. It's really embarrassing to be a Red Sox fan in 2026.
Yeah, look, I mean, for all the talk of the Red Sox wanting to be the Rays, they do a shitty version of trying to be the Rays. They can't even do that right. I mean, it's like, where do you stop? And here's the other thing. For all this talk about the fact that so many teams, including the Boston Red Sox, got rid of their scouts, the Tampa Bay Rays are one of the teams that still do. So it's almost as if they're not relying on analytics anymore, and the Red Sox are. It's getting so bizarre. They have no direction. I've said this since 2020. What is the direction of the team? There is none. They want to spend, they don't want to spend. They want to draft, they want to buy free agents. They don't want to sign big contracts. They do want to sign big contracts. Oh, maybe if it's not over 30 and it's under 30. Then Rangers swear it's 30. It's okay now, but it's not all right if it's a position player. They just don't know what the hell they're doing. And
every single move they make contradicts the last one they did.
It absolutely does. And every time they win a championship, they want to go and beat their chest and tell you that they figured it all out. And it usually suffers because it's either right before or right after you have last place finishes. And it's been doing that over and over and over again since 2012. So it's just an absolute debacle. They need to set something straight and stick with it. And if they don't, this is going to continue. I am a firm believer that they struck out on all these. There's no core here. This isn't Bernie Williams. This isn't Derek Jeter. This isn't Jorge Posada and Mariano Rivera. That's not who these guys are. They came up and were responsible for being a core at 22, 23 years of age. They are not a core. I think they've struck out on all of them. Roman Anthony may have talent. He's never going to be healthy enough to do it. Garrett Crochet, I'm a little convinced that you all right, Nick? Nick is having a seizure over here because he's so upset. I'm convinced Garrett Crochet took that deal because of his injury history. And then I'm hearing stuff like, well, no, he was injured coming here, and now he settled for $170 million for a guy that should have easily gotten $300. So you tell me, Red Sox fans, did he know a little bit more? Did the Red Sox know a little bit more? And it was just shoved under the carpet like a Carlos Correa, we'll still do what we can and hopefully you get through it type of thing? I don't know. But what I can tell you is that something needs to change quickly, because if it doesn't, I can't stand another week, month baseball game or another year of this nonsense over and over and over again. It's getting harder and harder to even have a podcast because all we do is talk about the same shit. It's just a different day. There's nothing exciting about this team. There's nothing interesting about this team. There's two people that I want to see play on this team, and that's Connolly Early and Peyton Tolley. I have no interest in anybody else, and everybody else can go. For as good as Contreras has been, they're going to probably trade him and move on anyway. Sonny Gray, Aroldis Chapman, these aren't guys that are part of your future. Jarren Duran is not even part of your future. They're not going to extend him. And you know what? If he gets hurt, he's going to be out. He's got 2 years left, I think, maybe a third year. I'm not quite sure. But he's not part of the core future. There is no core future because they struck out on everybody, and there's nobody coming for a cavalry in the minor leagues. You got Franklin Arias and a bunch of stiffs, and that's all there is. The Martinello
Minute, what just happened to me, that the lights just went out on me, can't happen to the 2026 Red Sox.
Well, they're still on at Jersey Street.
Okay, there's no fire. We're good. There's no fire.
They're still on at Jersey Street, so we'll see how that goes. The Martinello Minute is brought to you by Adult Supervision Staffing Services. Does your baseball team look confused, underprepared, and emotionally unavailable? Do they need someone to explain basic concepts like advance the runner, don't walk the leadoff man, and maybe score before the eighth inning? Call Adult Supervision Staffing Services. We send one responsible adult to your dugout with a clipboard, a whistle, and the ability to say, "What the hell are you doing?" Adult Supervision Staffing Services, because sometimes your roster needs less analytics and more someone's uncle yelling, "Knock it off." All right, moving right along. I've got 2, maybe 3 talking points. The first one we will bring up is the biggest news probably so far going on today is that Garrett Crochet is shut down. This is an effing surprise. If you didn't see this coming, I got some swampland in Florida for sale. Garrett Crochet shut down again because of course he is. Crochet has been moved to the 60-day injured list after his rehab hit another wall, this time with a low-grade lat strain on top of the original shoulder inflammation and whatever else is going on. He hasn't pitched since April 26th, and while the move is retroactive, the easiest he can return now is June 25th, and even that seems like a fantasy baseball written by someone on cough syrup because he still had to restart throwing, face hitters, and go through a rehab assignment. So my question is he done for the season? And if he's not, is it even worth bringing him back if they're going to be in such a bad shape just to go through the motions, or just don't even bring him back for the season and get ready for 27 if there is one? John, I'll start with you.
I don't think he's done for the season because the guy is a competitor. He wants to play. But I tell you that we won't be seeing him back at least until August 24th. Because in his contract, it says that if he goes 120 straight days being on the injured list due to an arm injury, it will void his opt-out in 2030. We're 46 days in so far. August 24th would be the 120th day. So if we see Garrett Crochet again, it's going to be at the end of August, going into September, which, if we get to that point and this game's 20 games under, maybe, if he really wants to get back out there and he's healthy to do so, go for it. I'm sure he'd be for the however many, probably 8 starts he would get. He'd be on a fairly significant pitch limit, but I don't expect for Garrett Crochet to see much of the mound for the rest of 2026.
Nick, your thoughts on Crochet?
I'm actually interested in that swampland in Florida. What's the going price for that actually?
$25 an acre.
The reason I say that is because I fell for it. If you date this back to when the injury came, I said, don't worry about it. He'll be back within the 15 days. And I was wrong. And I don't usually say, the reason that I'm stating it is because I fell for the lovely Red Sox medical team yet again, diagnosing something that wasn't super serious as it was communicated to. And of course, it's the exact opposite of what it was supposed to be. So it's Crochet, it's Oviedo, it's Roman Anthony, it's Tristan Casas, it's all of these players who have some sort of something going on, turns into a big something, and it turns into straight up hell. So I'm going to flat up say it right now. Who is this Red Sox medical team? I want names. I want numbers. I want all that information because they all should be out of here right now. There should be a whole sweep of the medical team. I've had enough of it. Enough. This problem, folks, does not just stem from the Red Sox sucking butt. It stems from the entire organization, to coaches, to peanut vendors, to the Worcester organist. I don't know. I'm a problem because clearly I'm the one that fell for the nonsense. It's so bad between not having scouts or not signing the right players or not having enough money and not having the right decision makers or flat up lying and not communicating things properly to your fans, to your media, all this. This is a travesty, fans and folks watching this, a travesty. This organization is an absolute joke and a laughing stock. As John said, I mean, you've got the rest of baseball pretty much laughing at you because you can't do anything right. You can't talk right. You can't trade with right partners right. You can't have players do anything right. You have analytics that are killing this team. You still preach drive line, and yet you have Caleb Durbin going to a private hitting coach and him going off on a quote unquote to Will Fleming. He's on a heater on that front. You got Marcelo Meyer, who needs to be pushed and pushed and pushed to actually get something out of him. We never talked about this, though. He had a stiff neck, boys. Stiff neck, so he couldn't play today. The poor baby. What's he been playing? The tap dance game too much this past few days with his new stance? Grow up. It's
going back to the
awful
Crochet thing. When it first happened, they said initially he probably doesn't need an IL stint, and then it went to he's going to be on the IL for the 15 days, and then there was a minor setback, and then he's throwing bullpens, which he did. He threw a couple bullpens, and then it's the lat strain, but it's no biggie, and now it's a big deal, this lat strain. And then Christopher Smith put out, I think it was about an hour ago at this point, but he asked Chad Tracy, what's going on? Because a couple hours ago, I think Pete Aide had it that this lat injury is a really big deal now. Christopher Smith went to Chad Tracy. He said there's actually no update with Crochet, but he's progressing. And then he went to Breslow, and Breslow said, from what my understanding is, he's making progress in the lat strain. There's no new updates on that because, again, we heard about a week ago that there was something going on with this lat strain. And then, again, we have... And then Crochet, I guess, is saying, according to Pete Abraham, that he has no idea when he'll be cleared to even throw a baseball again. So, it's the same. Roman Anthony, it was the same thing. Romy Gonzalez, it was the same thing. Tristan Casas, he kind of did it to himself back in 24, but last year he kept his mouth shut, and still the Red Sox said, "Oh, he'll be back." Then. He looks like he's able to play baseball. We don't know where the hell he is now. What's one of the pitchers that we haven't seen in 4 years? Where's Tanner Houck? Where's Cutter Crawford? Where's Patrick Sandoval?
Collecting checks.
These guys, and again, they're not the only team in baseball who do this when it comes to quote unquote good players and injuries. The Yankees are probably worse when it comes to star players getting hurt. They're never honest about it.
But they win.
There you go. Winning cures everything, right? So it's just I can't have. I put it out on Twitter not too long, 20 minutes ago. I just can't have 24. I cannot get 24 hours without just getting pissed off about this Red Sox team, ownership group, franchise as a whole. Like, you name it. I can't get 24 hours of just not getting pissed off.
Well, you know what it is, especially this season. Every time you think you've seen it all, happily you've been corrected. Mayer hurt today, Crochet not coming back. I mean, every time you turn around, you think you've seen it all, and it's something else yet again. Moving on to our next topic. This is going to be Craig Breslow. Craig Breslow has been marked safe from firing. After the absolute tire fire of a season, the Red Sox are reportedly not considering firing Craig Breslow, and ownership has supposedly not even discussed making a change. Boston was 27-37 and last in the AL East when that report dropped, which is incredible. Apparently, the bar is so buried deep that underground and has its own zip code. We're hearing conflicting reports now. I know Nick talked about it a little bit earlier. So I'm just going to say it in this regard. Does Craig Breslow have a job as the CBO of the Red Sox by July 1st? Nick?
Hell no. Bye-bye. This is just it. We're on an hourly little ticking time bomb right now until there is news of massive changes. That whole report came out strictly, again, as a smokescreen. They did the same thing with Chaim Bloom when reports said Bloom's done and Bloom was gone very soon after that. This is just to spew hot air so it backs fans off. I'm not backing off. And this all started from our buddy Jared Carabas, who was on his pod on Sunday night, and I think it was Milliken or one of the other guys. They talked about Breslow going into the All-Star break, and Jared goes, He knows. He knows
Yeah.
what's up. He does.
I just got it.
Some of you can't stand him, but I have to take his word. I have to. He's very in the know. He knows what's up with this team, and that is a very valid source right there for things. And I think that it's just a matter of time before we find what's going on. And the other thing on this is, I will confirm the move, whether it's temporary or not, is going to be Theo Epstein taking over the entire CEO of the Red Sox. They will be reinstating, most likely, Sam Kennedy to Siberia, and Breslow will be gone because they've had it. They've had it with it.
Yeah, I just got a unconfirmed report myself that it's within 48 hours. So I don't know if that lines up with you, Nick, but that's what I got hearing too. John, I don't know what you're hearing, but what is your thoughts on Breslow, and does he have a job come July 1st?
I personally don't think so. And, from everything that, Karab has said to Nick, you, Jim, and then going back to what the Red Sox said, every single time they say something's not going to happen, something does happen. And every time they say something is going to happen, something does not happen. Sure. So, kind of where I'm at on this, if Breslow somehow manages to stay within this organization to the All-Star break, I am 99% confident that he will not be in charge of making any decisions when it comes to the August 3rd deadline. But you guys have the information, and I'm not going to say I'm not saying you're wrong, because
I have to say one thing that I think
yeah.
is a huge takeaway from all this with Jim Source Mine and everything going on. Just look at the statement that was said to Christopher Smith. Just read that again and tell me that that's a guy that you have full confidence in with the direction of where this team is heading. That statement from Breslow to me just sums up that he is dead man walking, basically, on that.
He has no idea what's going on.
Yeah. Can I read some of these quotes that these rival executives said?
Oh,
yeah, please do. Share.
Go ahead.
I'm
feeling this. This may happen during broadcast now.
I hope that would be awesome. I can't believe they are content with going with so many AAA players, utility infielders at the bottom of the lineup. Another one is a lot of guys on the team who satisfy the model, but are role players who are being overexposed. That is very true. And then I'm still confused on the Red Sox roster construction, so am I, and truthfully, how they thought it would turn out any different than it has. The holes that were there at the start of the season are still there. That's tough to take. And it all falls on one man, and it's Breslow.
Brian Cashman.
Yeah. Well, the other thing about this too, guys, is that, and this has been known, we've talked about on this show, Breslow is not liked in that CBO inner circle with other executives. I mean, this isn't news. And,
there's a terrible rapport with people. Terrible.
Right. And we all know that, especially when you hear things, he needs an interpreter. And so the reality is that these executives, if they're coming out and saying this stuff, they have no reason to lie. It's the truth. It's not hyperbole, folks. It's the truth. I always liked Craig Breslow when he was a left-handed specialist pitcher. I thought he was pretty decent, smart guy, so forth. But this job is way over his head, and he is just not performing. It's very possible that when this is all said and done, we could turn around and say Bloom was the better of the two. And that's not.
I'll tell you right now that he was.
Yeah.
He did his job.
At least he could get prospects, build them, have a farm system. At least he couldn't make a deal to save his life, and he couldn't sign a free agent to save his life from everything.
Oh, he signed some free agents.
Oh, yeah. Yoshida and Story.
Yoshida and Story.
Yeah. It just didn't work out.
Oh, you're being sarcastic. Oh.
You said he couldn't. He did sign two. Absolutely did.
To the two of you.
All right. It's time for pitching probable.
Go back to the word of the day for the two of you. poop.
Yeah. It's time for pitching probables, as if anybody gives a rat's ass. But in any event,
Can I throw tomorrow? Can I throw Friday?
Well, you know what? Honestly, it's the bright spot of this team. So we
have game of the week on Sunday.
we are on our way.
God.
We're on our way to Texas. Red Sox do not play tomorrow, so they can't lose tomorrow.
I wouldn't say that.
Yeah, they probably could. I think the off day I think I had notification off day won 7-3. So Friday, June 12th, 7:10 p.m. start. It's going to be sunny gray against lighter. Saturday, June 13th. It's going to be a 4:10 afternoon start. Ranger Suarez against Jacob deGrom. And Sunday is going to be the 7:20 game on NBC Peacock. Connolly early against old friend Nathan Eovaldi. I'm going for a sweep. Texas 3 wins. John, what do you got?
I'm going to go with 1 of 3. I think they win the sunny gray start on Friday in the green uniforms. But I think DeGrom and Nasty Nate are going to.
They're in Texas, though. They wouldn't have the green uniforms, would they?
No, they're not. They're at home.
They're at Fenway.
They're at home?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. My mistake.
That's
my
one of the
mistake.
reasons why I think we'll hear something tomorrow on our other stuff.
Oh, my mistake. Yeah. Oh, yeah. Actually,
no worries. No,
tomorrow.
You're fine.
My bad. Yeah, no, that makes it more important tomorrow. Yeah, good call, guys.
But yeah, green jerseys, sunny gray, 7-1 record on the year. Jack Leiter, I don't think that he's special by any means. You could say the Red Sox dodged a bullet not drafting him back in 21, but I still like Marcelo Meyer, but that is who we drafted instead of Jack Leiter. Or I guess Leiter got taken 3rd overall. Mm-hmm. Nonetheless, I think Sonny Gray does his job as he's done all year, and the Red Sox win Friday. Saturday, they wear the yellow jerseys. They're not going to win a game ever again in those, and Jacob deGrom is your opponent. Mark that up as a loss. And then on national television, they're going to have a former player shove against them. It does not matter what Connolly Early does, because the Red Sox offense will not muster up any more than 5 singles in the game. So 1 out of 3.
Nick, what's your predictions for this series?
I'm actually going to agree with John on this one. I am. John is our expert. I want to do a shout out to John. John, you came in very well prepared tonight with information that was about Garrett Crochet with 100 games for the contract. Great job.
Thank you.
No, great job. You really come in prepared and everything like that, and it's very much appreciated.
Thank you, Nick.
And I mean, I'm not trying to be funny or anything. That's me being real serious. Great job. There's no knock. There's no nothing to it.
Appreciate it. Well,
shut up,
I didn't
Jim.
say they were going to sweep.
Can I speak? I'm going to drop my light again. Thank you. Thank you, everybody. I am going with Bob. Oh, that's the loudest applause I've ever heard in my life. Oh, speaking of Mickey Gasper. Anyways, I'm going to go one out of 3. I do like Friday night's game for Sonny Gray. Sonny Gray is going to keep building his trade resume up quite a bit, because he's going to become a hot commodity for some of these teams to get a veteran type pitcher to bolster their rotation. I do. I think that there'll be some suitors out there for Gray. Now, when it comes to Saturday and Sunday, you can forget about it. There's no chance in hell that the Red Sox win either of those games. I'm going to make a bold statement on Sunday's game for Eovaldi. Anybody know what I'm thinking? You may.
No hitter.
No hitter. Mm-hmm. Yeah, very real possibility on that one.
Can I add one thing on Eovaldi?
You know what I would say? I would say is a possibility he could break Clemens' record of 20 strikeouts.
You could see that too. Yeah, you could see that too. Yep.
Nate Eovaldi's first inning ERA on the season is 9.
Well, he's facing the Red Sox on Sunday, so you
If-
can
if-
not have to worry about that one, Nate.
If Rasmussen
Roll the
can
ball up
strike-
the home plate, and he'll be fine.
if Rasmussen can strike out 13 Red Sox, can't Eovaldi strike out 7 more than that?
I suppose.
Nasty Nate, he's coming. I wish we still had him. I really
So
do.
do I.
He-
It's
he was
time
somebody
for
that was
it's
just great.
it's time for comments. Let's go and see what we got live. Betty says, "Happy to see you all. We're happy to see you as well. Thank you for commenting." Will Fleming has verbally attacked me since he said he had issues. Nonstop DMs. Well, that's a little scary, Betty. I don't know about that. I mean, you may want to.
Well, it's the same thing that happened to me when he swore.
Yeah.
Do you have that screenshot? You can share it if you want.
I don't have it right now, but it is on Twitter, I believe, right?
I'll text it to you so we can
Yeah, I
expose
think-
the Lembot. He needs
Nick-
to be exposed.
Yeah, Nick wrote it in the chat. Pete Fly says, "Hi, how you doing?" Betty says he is a nutcase. He is a little out there. Betty said, "Jim kills me." It must be my monologue, I guess. Betty says, "Nick, I was shocked." She's worried about Roman's rehab. You know, those two words I don't think should be in the same sentence. The White Sox 2-0 over Sale and 5 Braden double. Oh yeah, that's gonna be my. You stole my thunder, Jules. I'm still gonna talk about that in Piece of Take in just a minute. Jules says I watched half of Boston, half of New York, and he says it is all BS. Believe nothing about Breslow being fired, Jules, or what do you think?
I think he's meaning more about when the organization speaks in
Oh
confidence.
yeah, you can't.
and
Oh
stuff.
yeah.
You can't.
Listen, the only time Sam Kennedy is lying is when he's talking. Betty says she hates Bobby Valentine. Jules says 112. Let's set records. I mean, it's not out of the possibility. What do they have to go like 57 and 39 now to even finish with 81 wins, something like that? And you can look up the math. Contreras wants to go. I would leave too. I mean, he's the best player on the team right now offensively. So, I mean, I wouldn't want to be here either. I don't want to go to a contender. You know, it's funny too when that ball dropped. I think it was between between Tolley and Wong. The ball dropped to Mickey Gasper. It was
Gasper and
The
Tolley.
ball dropped. Did you see the look on Contreras' face? I mean, he slapped his glove. He was like, "These guys are friggin' fools." Nick,
Can I ask a question?
Monasterio took a ball from another pop fly from him today, and the Monasterio this time actually called him off, but he looked furious. Again, he was just camping right under it.
What is this love affair from Mickey Gasper? The guy is like 4 for his last 28 or something like that.
because in
He's
his
got
first
he's
game,
got a sick mustache.
because in his first game,
I think that's what it is.
100%.
because in
I'd
his
much
first,
rather see Carlos Navarro's catch and work out whatever issues he had if we're trying to look at the future. Mickey
Nick,
Gasper is not the future of this team, so he needs to go.
he had 2 hits off the wall in his first game, so that instantly makes you the
They
number
get all
2
giddy.
hole. Yeah, instantly makes you the number 2 hole hitter for the rest of the season. Jules says BS. Betty says they lie. New York Yankees have a good roster. They have a better roster than we do.
Even without Aaron Judge.
Yeah. Betty says, I can't stand Carabas either, but he probably knows. Yeah, you know, it's just, I don't know. Groovy Weenie says, great take, John. I agree about Breslow. Bobby says, like we say in Quebec, Terrebnac, we suck. Terrebnac. I don't know how to pronounce that. Bloom's strength is the farm. Well, he should be, probably the, the pitching guru or whatever title that is for the pitching, some kind of whatever in the minors. I mean, that's probably where he's best suited, to be honest with you, not as GM. They can lose in an off day. Let's be real. Like I said, I think the off day might win 7-2. Groovy says, I don't know the sweep. I'd say 1/3, 1-3 to Boston. I mean, yeah, it could happen. I guess I'm just a little bit more cynical But yeah, I still think there's a chance. I mean, it may not be that it's going to be early with the loss or anything like that, or Suarez. It could come back to a bullpen loss, but they could also pitch very well and lose 3-1 or something like that. Groovy Winnie says, "Woo, go John. Love your takes. Make sure you buy a Martinello Minute T-shirt. Go to our website and get the store and get yourself some Martinello merch. I need Looney Tunes sound effects. I grew up in the 60s. I don't know if we have anything from Looney Tunes, but we definitely got we'll get some more on the system for sure. Gray and Contreras trying their best to get out of Boston. They're their two biggest trade pieces right now, including Chapman, those three. But he says, I cry when Eovaldi left. Love him. Yeah, he should have never left. They should have kept him here. But again, that's the way the Red Sox work. Cal says, just get a haul of prospects at the deadline and then use that ammunition in the offseason. Miguel Vargas could be a great acquisition. Anybody got any thoughts on Miguel Vargas?
I don't know how many more moves you can make with the White Sox.
Yeah. Well, we shall see. That's going to wrap it up for comments. The last thing I want to just mention, kind of like really quick as a piece of take, I'd like to leave you with this image. And that image
of us
here is here. So we all know now, if you've been living under a rock, Montgomery had a game-winning home run in his first game as a Red Sox. And there's number 10 there. That's Majdroth, right? I think.
Yep, Chase Majdroth.
Majdroth that we already had to. So my question is, it's a rhetorical one. I'm not asking for an answer, but, the post-Dave Dombrowski era has been filled with wrong trades, making mistakes, getting the wrong players, or getting the right players and getting rid of them. We've gone over it a million times on this show. So I wonder, did the Red Sox make the right move in getting Garrett Crochet? Because I don't know, it's looking pretty good. I know it's one game and we can't go crazy on it, but they did want Mayer. They wanted Anthony. Maybe we could have kept Montgomery and Teal. Who knows? Hopefully it doesn't come back to bite us, but if it does, I'll be the first one that's laughing. That's about it. Anybody else got anything come across the wire that needs to be discussed?
Not right
Yeah.
now. Back to that question on Montgomery and Kyle Teal and all that. Isn't it remarkable that no matter really who it is, that's a touted prospect or something, goes to another organization and thrives? Priester, Kyle Teal, now Braden Montgomery, even though it's just one game. It's sick.
Yeah.
And it shows you just how horrendous the entire organization at a whole is with player development, with skills, training, getting players into the best place possible. It stems that bad from where things are at right now. It's at the point where I'm even nervous about making a deal for a player. Because if that player comes in, those nerds or whoever it is going to change them, and they're probably not going to do well. Case in point, I mean, that's Caleb Durbin for the most part. They completely changed this guy coming in with his approach and everything, and now he has to go elsewhere. He has to go to Waltham to go to a hitting instructor to get himself back into the guy he was with the Brewers.
That's a total embarrassment.
And it's a true statement. This isn't like I'm just spewing this and just giving you some sort of hot take. This is the God's honest truth. It's that bad organizationally. And I don't know how they fix it outside of putting the master back in play. And that's Theo. And bringing him back into the fold with, number one, money. Of course, money is something that you can be bought from. And I think that John Henry's going to open up that check, and it's going to have a lot of zeros next to it, And that's going to be how this organization gets fixed. To me,
But Nick,
that's the only way, guys. I don't
Nick,
know if you have a better thought. That's the
Nick,
only way. That's the only hope I have.
the problem with that is even if you want to spend the money, okay, what's available? I mean, there are teams, just because a team has a player, and I don't want them going out and moving prospects or getting bad contracts and guys on the wrong side of their careers. I want to see guys coming in here that the best days are still in front of them. Guys like Bobby Witt Jr., James Woods, these are the type of guys you need to bring into this organization, not the guys that their better years were behind them. All right? It can't be done that way.
Well,
because
I agree
you're
with
gonna,
that.
you're going to
my thing that I'm trying to go ahead.
You're going to wind up you're just going to wind up in the same situation you are in now with a guy that's trying to hang on to a career that's overpriced and so forth. But I just don't see it. So, but that's going to wrap it up for tonight. I'd like to thank Nick and John for being on the show, as well as anybody else who commented on our show tonight. We thank you very much for being part of this.
Theo.
We forgot to mention that last episode was episode 100 of our show. This is actually 101. So, yeah.
Theo.
Theo.
So,
Theo. I'm going to mute you. So, if you haven't gone to our website, yet, I would recommend that you go there, go to RedSoxDigest.com. That's RedSoxDigest.com, and go ahead and subscribe and get a free account. You'll get our daily newsletter during the season, as well as some other perks. You can even be on the show at some point, which will allow you with the founding members. And that would be a great gift for someone. You could also just donate to our cause if you'd like. We have to buy Nick a new pad of paper because that one looks really, really bad. And but at least he can spell, so that's the most important thing. Have a good night, everybody. If something does happen, which we think it may, either tomorrow or Friday or something like that, we probably will have an emergency show. Other than that, we probably will see you on Sunday. So have a good night, and we'll talk to you soon. Bye-bye.